Student, myself Randomandi. Today we discuss Rankine cycle. So going through the Rankine cycle, first of all we go through the cycling of power plant. So all of you know power plant is running here. In outer side you will consider the thermal power plants are there, nuclear power plants are different type of power plants are there. So this is a steam power plant is also the thermal power plant is considered as a steam power plant. The cycle will be run by the thermal power plant is your Rankine cycle. So going through this Rankine cycle are basically four processes there. So under four process, number one is here adiabatic expansion process. Second one is here isobaric heat rejection process. Third one is your adiabatic compression process, and fourth one is your isobaric heat addition process. So these are the basically four processes. Under four processes, the Rankine cycle will be occur. So under adiabatic expansion what happen? Under the isobaric heat rejection what happen? Adiabatic compression what happen? Isobaric heat rejection what happen? So this is four ideal processes also called as Rankine cycle. So adiabatic expansion means when the steam will be go through the turbine should be expand and give some output work. So due to the expansion, the turbine will be rotated. Due to this adiabatic expansion, the turbine work will be occur here. So adiabatic expansion will occur in your turbine section. Next is the isobaric heat rejection. After steam go through the turbine, then it will go through the condenser to close the cycle. So isobaric heat rejection means what? Or pressure should be constant. Isobaric means pressure is constant. In a constant pressure, the heat should be rejected. That is called as isobaric heat rejection. Next one is the adiabatic compression. So under adiabatic compression, the pump will be occur. The pump will be take work and give output. So under that, the work done with the pump will be negative, will be considered displacement of work. So here adiabatic compression will occur in a pump section. Next is the isobaric heat addition. That is your boiler section. This is also constant pressure. So under constant pressure, the heat will be added in a boiler. That is called as isobaric heat addition. These are the four processes in a Rankine cycle. Now we are considering a simple power plant here. Look at here. So this is a boiler. Main four parts are there. There is a boiler, turbine, condenser, and pump. So four basic parts is the important parts are considered here. So number one is your boiler. So under that Rankine cycle process, on boiler the isobaric heat addition will be occur. Means Q1 amount heat will be added. How? When the combustion will be occur, the combustion gives some heat. So the heat will be utilized in a boiler, and boiler will be what happen in the boiler? Boiler is also called a steam generator. So boiler will be receive the heat and it will convert it into water into a steam, and the steam will be go through the turbine. So this is your constant pressure heat will be added here. This is your boiler section. Next one is your turbine. Look at here in the turbine. So when the boiler will be discharge the pressure of steam, it will go through the turbine, and turbine under that turbine it will be converted using of turbine impulsor reaction. Using that way, you can use the pressure of the steam and the velocity of the steam, and it will be around the turbine. It will give some turbine output back. So when the turbine will be go through the when the steam will be go through the turbine, the steam will be expand here due to the adiabatic expansion process. After expanding, there is a pressure drop will be occur, there is a temperature drop will be occur, and there is a heat drop will be occur. After that, it will go through the condenser. So after getting the turbine, it will go through the condenser. Condenser means condense, means it will be cool. How to cool? It will be reject the heat. So this is a isobaric heat rejection, where the Q2 amount heat will be rejected through atmospheric pressure, and it will convert the steam into water for recycling process. After that, it will go through the pump. So under pump, the water will be go through the pump from river side or source of water. You can use this here. That water and your condensed water both are going through this pump, and it will be take output work, that is adiabatic compression. It take output work, then it will give the feeding the water to the boiler. This is the basically cycling process of a steam power plant or a steam power plant layout. So what happen in a boiler, turbine, condenser form we will discuss. So what happen in the position of the steam here. So when the boiler will be generated, steam will be generated, the steam will be in a vapor stage. There is a consider there is a certain temperature T1, certain pressure P1 and certain enthalpy H1 will be inlet through the turbine. After expanding, there is a drop in a temperature, pressure and enthalpy. So T2, P2, H2. Then after we go through the condenser. Under condenser, the constant pressure will be occur. So under constant pressure, the P2 will be not changes here. The P2 pressure should be constant here. And when it will go through the condenser section, it will be condensed. How it condensed? Through cooling tower. So using of some cooling tower. So cooling towers are different types are there. Natural type is artificial, different type है. We will not consider now. So just we will discuss what is cooling tower. So under cooling tower, when the steam will be go through this, using of cooling water, it will be sprinkled, or using of cooling water exchange, it will be converted into water. The steam will be converted into cooling water, and the temperature should be dropped here, and that water will be come through this. The pressure should be constant because this is auxiliary heat rejection pressure. Pressure should be constant, but temperature will be changes. And enthalpy also changes. After getting this, it will go through the pump. The pump function is what? It will be increase the pressure. So it will be increase the pressure means the pressure should be increases, and increase the pressure is P1 because in a constant pressure the boiler will be heat added. So that's why P1 under pressure will be released, and there is a changes in temperature, that is a T4. The under that pump, that will be changes the water considering a normal temperature water, because after condensing the temperature of water should be dropped. So we are, when we are considering a water, there is a certain normal temperatures are there. When we will just now we will drink a water, there is a normal water temperature there. So using this pump, it will be reaches the normal temperature pressure. Normal temperature of the water. That's why when we are using the pump, there is some heat water will be occur. When you will be considering a home or etc., there is a, when you consider there is a pump, water should be cooled. When summer season are there, when winter season are there, there is some water will be warm. Why? Because the surrounding temperatures are different. That's why the water should be changes the different temperature. The pump should be increases the normal water pressure, normal water temperature, and feed to the boiler. This is also helpful for efficiency increases. Because when the temperature will go through the normal temperature of water, then when the combustion will occur, so it will be little bit heat acceleration, it will be converted into steam. So this is a main role of pump also which is here. From this, when the condenser will be go through this pressure P2, it will come from P1, and temperature will be T4, and enthalpy will be H4. So in this way, the boiler steam power plant will be running. Steam power plant will be running here. So if you consider this in a TS diagram, look at this. This is a TS diagram. So this is a TS means temperature and entropy diagram. The temperature entropy are considering here. So look at here. This is the 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 1 is given here. So when the turbine will be go through this, it will be expand in adiabatic compression expansion. Under adiabatic compression, that is S1 is equal to S2 because entropy should be constant here. So this is a turbine section, this adiabatic expansion occur and turbine work will be occur. So entropy is constant, so S1 is equal to S2. Then after it will go through the condenser section, constant pressure V2 will be rejected. So pressure should be constant, temperature is not constant. So T2 to T3 will be changes the pressure, temperature here, and here is the temperature of T1, here is the temperature of T4. So 2 to 3 constant pressure, the heat will be rejected, that is a Q2. Then after it will go to the pump section. Under pump it will be take input back and give the feed to the water to the boiler, and it will go through the boiler, and after boiler it will be receive the heat from the constant pressure, and it will be high pressure will be generated. P1 amount of pressure will be generated here, constant pressure, and the temperature will be increases T1. So inlet temperature of the turbine is here T1. So this is your TS diagram. You can also define in the PV diagram, and HS diagram is also there, enthalpy and entropy diagram is also there. So now consider only TS diagram here. So under TS diagram you can find the efficiency of the Rankine cycle, steam rate, and heat rate. So finding this, first of all we are going through this. Consider this here. So this is the power plant layout. So here considering a mass should be 1 kg. M is equal to consider 1 kg of fluid here. So 1 kg of fluid will be flowing through this cycling of power plant cycle. And using of steady flow energy equation. Steady flow energy equation you have studied in a thermal 1. So this is a thermal 2 section. So steady flow energy equation, what happened in steady flow energy equation? So H1 plus GZ1 plus V1 square by 2G plus dW by dm is equal to H2 plus GZ2 plus V2 square by 2G plus dq by dm. So this is the expression of a steady flow energy equation. So under steady flow energy equation SFEE there is a H1, H2, GZ1, V1 square is there. So this is the enthalpy and this is your potential energy section. This is your kinetic energy. This is your work done of shaft. So this is your heat of this. So using this steady flow energy equation we will be remove the kinetic energy, potential energy, work done and heat. Only you have to find what? Sorry, no heat. Only you find what? H1 is equal to H2 plus some dq by dm. Or if you considering this, input is your output from your complete equation. What amount of mass will be flow through the inlet, that amount of mass will be go through the outlet also. So using this steady flow energy equation we can find the different section neglecting potential energy and kinetic energy. So consider here in a section. So first of all considering 1 to 2. 1 to 2 means turbine section. It is your turbine. So turbine inlet is consider enthalpy only. So H1 will be 1 to 2 process. So H1 will be entry here in a steady flow equation. Inlet is your H1. Outlet is your what? Turbine work and H2. So process 1 to 2, if you consider this is inlet section H1, the outlet is a W2 plus H2 using your steady flow energy equation, and you can write WT is equal to H1 minus H2. Next 2 to 3, that is your condenser section. 2 to 3 there is a condenser section, this is your condenser section 2 to 3. So put up your name 1. So 2 to 3 is the process. So process 2 to 3 there is a condenser section. Constant pressure heat will be rejected here. So inlet is your what? H2 amount will be inlet here. And outlet is your what? Q2 amount will be rejected and H3 amount will be rejected. Discharge here. Sorry. So that is a H2 will be inlet from the turbine to the condenser and H3 enthalpy will be changes after condense. And Q2 will be amount of heat will be rejected to the atmosphere. So you can write Q2 is equal to H2 minus H3. Next one is your 3 to 4, that is your pump process. So under that pump process H3 will be entered here. So H3 amount of enthalpy will be go through this pump and WP also input work is given here. And output is your H2. So under that, if you consider this a pump work here, then pump work is equal to H4 minus H3. So WP is your H4 minus H3, Q2 is your H2 minus H3, and WT is your H1 minus H2. Now considering 4 to 1, that is your boiler process. Using steady flow energy equation. So here is your amount of what amount is there? There is a H4 is the entry. And Q1 amount will be added here, and output is H1. So Q1 is equal to H1 minus H2. So Q1, Q2, WP, WT we have defined here from this cyclic diagram, and now we can find the efficiency. So considering efficiency, Always efficiency is your output by input. Efficiency is your output by input. So efficiency means here is your given work, output is your turbine work or net work done, and supplied is your Q1 amount of heat will be input here. You can write W net by Q1, that is the efficiency of Rankine cycle. Or also you can write heat supply minus heat rejected by heat supply, that is also efficiency. So if you consider both of you, or this will be considered and this will not, the expression will be same. Now we are considering this efficiency here of Rankine cycle. So efficiency of Rankine cycle is here Q1 minus Q2 by Q1 or W net by Q1. Now W net by Q1. So W net means what? W net is equal to total turbine output bar and pump input bar, WT minus WP by mix of that. So here is your WT is your HM minus S2 minus, and this is your WP is your S4 minus S3, and Q1 is your HM minus S4. So this is the expression of a Rankine cycle. So this is your Rankine cycle efficiency. So HM minus S2 minus S4 minus S3 by HM minus S2, this is your Rankine cycle efficiency ratio. So under some conditions, what happens, the pump work is much more less than your turbine work. So under some condition there is a negative your pump work here. So under if neglect this pump work, then the efficiency should be HR minus S2 by HR minus S4. So HR minus S2 by HR minus S4. Now considering the steam position in a TS diagram. Look at here. This is the steam position. H1 is here present in a superheated stage or a gas stage. This is your gas stage. This is a liquid plus vapor, or you can say vapor stage, and this is a liquid stage. And this is your saturation line. So under this saturation line, this is a liquid plus vapor. This is your gas. This is a liquid. Consider H1. The H1 is present in a gas stage. When you considering a problematic, then you can consider that is your HG direct here. Or superheated stage is there, then superheated consider H direct here. Then after there is your 2 is here given here H2. This is under liquid plus vapor condition. Then you have to find your dryness fraction of the steam. You have to find X. Then you have to put the value of H2. Then is your H3 is here there. So H3 is in a liquid line and H4 is also in a liquid line. So if you consider this H3 is equal to HF3 is equal to H4. Because this is already a liquid stage, like, so that's why we are considering this H4 is equal to HF3. Now if you put this value here, HR minus H2 by HR minus HF3. So this is your final Rankine cycle efficiency. So now this is your Rankine cycle efficiency. You have to find the Rankine cycle efficiency from this chart. Now we can find steam rate. This is also a steam rate means what? Steam ratio. What amount of the steam? We are considering 1 kg here. So if you consider the steam rate, 1 kg is your ratio of mass of the ratio 1 kg and net work. So steam rate is equal to 1 by W net. So 1 is your mass, that is your W is your net work done. So this ratio is your steam rate is your 1 by W net. Similarly, heat rate depend upon your Q1, Q2 amount. If you consider Q1, Q2, what amount of heat will be supplied, by what amount of heat will be rejected, then you can add 1 by mu. 1 by mu of Rankine cycle. So this is your heat rate. You can find kg per hour, you can find minute per hour also you can find. So in a second we also find. According to that you can put the value and changes the unit. So this is all about your Rankine cycle efficiency and steam rate and heat rate. So today we will go this Rankine cycle. Then after we study the actual vapor power cycle and your theoretical vapor power cycle. The difference will be studied in next class. Now thank you.